Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as, investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are on Tuesday, March 26th. We're going to take a look at Carnival CCL today with earnings coming up. I thought we'd come and take a look and see where CCL might hit some support or resistance, whether it booms or busts, and of course some levels that it might sort of pin itself to if it does move relatively sideways. Now, I left the more granular levels off of the chart, like where there was thinner price action, but you can certainly see some areas between these levels which have huge percentage gains and losses between them, right? 14 to 1684. Huge percentage change. Same thing, 1684 to 1939. So just be aware, like there's probably a level here around 1749. I erred on the side of trying to cover more ground, but putting in what I just felt were the strongest levels in those ranges. But just knowing that there are certainly some levels in between them. So just keep that in mind. Now, if it does move relatively sideways on earnings, this is the 1684 level that we see here. So maybe a slight dip. If it does come slightly up, that could be that sort of 1749 approach to 1750 level. Now, if it does get dippy, 1406, 1114, again, there's certainly a level here around like 1285-ish, 1284. And then a bunch of levels down here, 903, 853, so on and so forth, you can see. But that's, that I would imagine, even if it's an atrocious earnings, I don't know that it would, gobble up that much percentage in one fell swoop. But just in case it gets real dippy over a period of time. Now, if it does rise off of this 1684 level, 1939, 2161, 2364, and 2529 to the upside. Now, I didn't intentionally put in a bunch of additional levels to the lower side. Just keep in mind this is because these are old levels. So it's just as it was down here at lows, I had done some videos, done some charting for those videos, and that's why there's so many levels down there. They're old, but to me they're still valid. Now, on the think or swim side of things, I was taking a look at this briefly before starting the video, and it's actually pretty interesting. You see these arrows? You see this blue arrow here, yellow arrow here, blue arrow here. Now, typically on this setup, I ignore those arrows altogether because they typically provide a lot of misindication. So oftentimes you'll see an up arrow and it'll maybe briefly go up and then it'll really go down. Or you'll see an up arrow and then like 2 candles later, a down arrow. So I typically ignore them. However, if I just look at what we can see on the chart here, up arrow comes in and it flies to the upside. Down arrow comes in and it flies to the downside. Up again, push, down. Now this is a smaller move, of course, but it was a push down. Even this sort of smaller one brought it from 16 down to mid 14s. So again, percentage-wise, for a relatively short period of time, decent move. Now, for what it's worth, like I said, I usually ignore these, but this just caught my eye because it's so anomalous. We have a conviction candle here with an up conviction candle, whatever you want to call it. And it has moved up a little bit since then. It brought it from about, say, 16s up to low 17s. So I don't know if that's sort of a similar style reaction to this one. Certainly not seeing anything like this where it pushes it out of the channel. It did it to both ends of the channel here, downside and upside, and that's really what you want to see, right? Like that's really the big outsized move. So I don't know, but we'll see if anything more comes of this on the big catalyst of earnings coming up and this pretty near in up facing conviction candle. I got to figure out a better way to call these things, but I don't typically talk about them because, like I said, I'm so frequently ignoring them. But yeah, these are the levels. I'll keep it over here so you can see them all. These are the levels that I have for the time being. We'll see what comes into play, what doesn't, and kind of take it from there. But we have a lot of ground covered from single digits all the way up to over 25. CCL right now is situated in low 17s, and we'll see what happens. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.